The CALS internship program has been running for very many years. The genesis of the program is really in the identity of CALS as an institution. So we have one foot in the practical world, the legal practice world, and the social justice sector, but our other foot is very firmly in the academy. The purpose of CALS's internship program is that one of the difficulties that students face in universities nationally, including at Wits University, is the struggle to find information about what alternative ways of lawyering might look like. There's a very dominant discourse in South Africa and across the world about what it means to be a lawyer. You know, it's that picture of you don your pinstripe suit and disappear into the bowels of a corporate entity for the rest of your life. So our internship program is really designed to facilitate the exposure of those kinds of students to social justice work, to help them get a sense of the flavour of what that kind of work can look like in practice, in order to help them navigate their career decisions.
I accepted to be a part of the CALS internship because I like CALS. We share a lot of CALS's fundamental values, and so the values that the organization carries are the values that I myself live by, and so it seemed commonplace for us to come together, and it made sense for me to become a part of this organization because it was largely an extension of who I want to be in society.
I've always wanted to be a human rights lawyer, and I felt that CALS was a perfect place where I could learn skills about human rights law and actually see human rights law in action. And through participating in their internship programs, I feel confident that I learned some of those skills.
I applied at CALS internship program specifically because I heard about it from a previous intern and how much he had learnt about human rights and how it works, the ins and outs of it, and not just a theoretical subject that we learn in class. So I thought, this would be such a great experience for me to figure out exactly what direction I want to go in, because I've always known I want to be an environmental lawyer, but I didn't really know what that meant. I was so fortunate to get an email from Lisa in November while I was studying for exams to tell me that I got the internship, so I was super excited about that, and I couldn't wait to start in January.
So the program is really designed to give interns a sense of what social justice practice looks like in reality, in order to help them make their career decisions. So we cater for a whole range of different kinds of students. We offer three main kinds of internships. The first is a full-time student internship, effectively the equivalent of vacation work, where a student will come and work for 2 to 3 months full-time during their holidays. The second is a part-time student internship, where a student will work part-time during the semester. And then thirdly, we also offer a graduate internship opportunities.
My understanding of the role of an intern is that you do the work that is being given to you, and through that you also learn the skills that are being exposed to you. And I feel like with my internship at CALS, I was through doing research and through using the CALS tool, the tool that CALS has developed.
I was involved in several projects in the Rule of Law program. I did research for the Parliament submissions on the torture bill. I also was involved in the remand detention project with several activities within that project. And finally, during my time in South Africa, Marikana massacre happened, so I was involved in the early stage of the Marikana Commission of Inquiry. I attended a few of the hearings, and I was involved in the research in the use of force by the police according to international standards.
I was working in the basic services program, and later on I started doing some work for the Rule of Law program. A lot of the work that we did was mostly evictions, but other work related to housing rights. With the Rule of Law program at the time, I started working with Kathleen with the Marikana work because we were representing the South African human rights at the Marikana Commission of Inquiry.
The goal of the intern program is really twofold. On the one hand, we're looking to have a meaningful experience for our interns who are able to produce discrete projects and pieces of work in which they're involved intellectually and substantively, and really to make sure that they feel part of a team. The second goal is to ensure that young students and graduates are able to get a taste for social justice work, to experience what it means to be in this sector and hopefully to pursue a career as a social justice or human rights lawyer, so that we grow that pool of lawyers to make this sector more robust and hopefully a healthier one.
The CALS internship is valuable overall for every person who wants to be. In my personal case, as a person from the global south, was especially valuable because I realized how we have the same structural problems if we're always looking for solutions inside our own continent, when we can actually have other strategies, litigation, other type of research that has been done, and other type of people and different approaches to the same problem. So for me, it was especially valuable.
The value of the internship program has been a profound success. We have had roughly 19 interns, most of whom come from the global south, walk through our doors. 2 of them have come on to become CALS employees. Several have been long-term interns here at CALS. And the value really has been in developing individuals into the sector. So the objective was to grow the sector and to give people an opportunity to understand what the sector is about for the purposes of developing a future career. Then the value has indeed been commensurate with our goal and objective.
As an organisation, CALS is fundamentally committed to facilitating opportunities for local students and for students from the global south. And part of that is our commitment to transformation of the legal profession in South Africa. And so we have a particular interest in providing opportunities and facilitating the development of young black female graduates and law students in South Africa.
I knew Bonnie from some of the work that I did with SLSJ. I sent an email basically explaining how I'm looking for almost anything to do at that point in time. She told me about the internship program that they wanted to start for South African learners, for students. And shortly I got contacted and yeah.
CALS has an interesting composition. On the one hand, as with every organization, there is a hierarchy, but it's a hierarchy of responsibility, not a hierarchy of rights. As regards the content of any matter within CALS, there's a flat structure in which everybody must participate and in which everybody has an equal say. So when we're dealing with challenges that we face, either in the substance of our work or in the nature of a particular project, then it is a cohesive and collaborative approach to problem solving and to constructing solutions. The interns are very much a part of that, often offering a perspective that nobody's thought of because they are often working outside or living outside the organization. There's also a freshness to the perspective that they bring, an interest also that often is unique. And so that contribution is something we value a great deal. And very often we find that the intern contribution will be a game changer in our consideration of how we're going to progress with a particular matter.
I don't think I faced any real challenges, but maybe I would say, deadlines. Deadlines could have been a bit of an issue because when you're working with, like social and labor plans, it could be tedious. The research, especially when you're doing it for the first time, it could really be challenging. But I overcame that by consulting with my supervisor.
Definitely one of the perks of being an intern at CALS are the Friday seminars. Being invited to those seminars is quite amazing. Well, they all take on different topics, right? So some of them are reflection seminars. I remember a reflection seminar that was held here. Very interesting facilitators came through and facilitated the whole discussion. And essentially, it becomes a reflection about you as a part of the CALS ship. And definitely another perk of working at CALS, as I'd mentioned before, is essentially all the practice that you get to do. All the practice that you get to do that you know that all of your other colleagues are only actually going to get to do next year. And you feel like by the time you become a CA, you're almost at an advanced level. And so definitely the feeling of making all your mistakes now while you're interning before you're actually in a professional sphere is definitely a perk where you get to practice essentially who you want to be as a lawyer.
Running this internship program is definitely one of the favourite parts of my job. I find it enormously energising and incredibly exciting to be interacting on a daily basis with the phenomenal talent and passion that is coming through in the student body currently in South Africa. It gives me great hope for the future of the legal profession in general and the social justice sector in particular, that there is just such an array and such a volume of young talented lawyers who are prepared to make brave career decisions and who are invested in using law as an instrument of social change and being part of that change in South Africa. And it's incredible to see students navigate those choices and figure out how best to do that and where to do that and what kind of lawyer they want to be and how they're going to use the law. And so I find it incredibly energizing, and it's a real privilege for me to be able to be part of that process in some small way.
I think it is crucial for this program to keep running because there'll always be students like myself, students who, because of whatever backgrounds that they come from, have always sort of struggled academically or even struggled professionally. And so to have a program like this as an interim to facilitate your growth definitely is essential.
The program is very beneficial to the interns because most of the times when these students come to CALS, they don't have much knowledge on how to do their research, much knowledge on how to handle clients that they might be dealing with. And when they leave CALS, they are perfectly professionals,
If the internship program is to benefit people largely from the global south, particularly from this country and this continent, this is something we can't just hope for and wish for. It has to be structured. We have to put in the resources. We take a great deal of pride in structuring our internship programs so that people get the maximum benefit out of it. And likewise, that kind of deliberate control, that deliberate design has to come with support and resources. It's particularly important that we're able to support our interns financially. The ask historically has been that interns work for free or for very little money. And this is not commensurate with the value that interns bring. It also means that we create a system in which wealthier students can intern, whereas poorer students need to get remunerating jobs during their vacation or immediately after graduation. So to ensure that we are sincere about our ambition, to ensure that there's a cross-section of people who can benefit from the pedagogy, from the mentoring that our wonderful CALS colleagues offer, then we need to be able to finance and resource that obligation and undertaking. Because only then can you really facilitate the kind of diversity we want to see in our internship program, to advance particularly women from this country and from the continent, and to ensure that barriers to entry into this profession are broken down. And that requires an understanding of the economic exigencies that often face the very kind of people we would like to see come on board in our internship program. The value and the necessity for support cannot be overstated.